Throughout Western history, the only reliable safe drinks were those with alcohol, such as wine and beer. Being consistently drunk was better than dying of typhoid or cholera or food poisoning. And drinking was rife throughout Europe. And in the 17th century, gin was introduced to England. Now, gin was the English name for Genever, which is a distilled spirit flavored with juniper, which had been perfected in Holland around 1650 and introduced to England in 1688. Gin was considered a cheap and quick and easy way to get drunk. In the beginning of the 18th century, the British Parliament passed legislation designed to encourage the use of grains for distilled spirits. And this was in order to utilize surplus grains and raise revenue. They got their wish, and it's by 1700, the average English adult drank 1/3 of a gallon of gin per year. But by 1723, consumption rates had risen more than 21-fold. And on average, every man, woman, and child in London drank more than a pint of gin per week. By 1750, gin was considered to be a significant problem. Gin consumption was 22 times the level it had been 60 years before. In one section of the city, as many as 1 in every 5 buildings was a gin shop. And at least 5 laws were passed against its consumption. And it was declared an enemy of religion and health, yet people still considered it to drink. Now in 1751, at the height of all the gin drinking, English painter William Hogarth created 2 important prints, Beer Street and Gin Lane. These depicted the misery that gin drinkers suffered and contrasted that with the good health experienced by those who stuck to beer. Now on Beer Street, everyone is fat and happy and prosperous. There's food everywhere. The streets are clean. Business is booming. Art and civilization are thriving, and prosperity and love abounds. Not so much on Gin Lane. Here, the only businesses that flourish are the pawn shop, the undertaker, and the gin industry. And at the center here of the print is Mother Gin, a semi-naked woman with syphilis sores on her leg, and she just dropped her baby headfirst into a basement gin shop. You can notice that bricks tumble from the buildings, and a child fights with a dog for a bone. Notice a housewife is pawning her pots and pans, and a skipping lunatic with a baby on a skewer dances past an open coffin holding an emaciated body. Gin Lane is not good. Let's live on Beer Street. No, so because of these laws and the change in opinion, by the second half of the 18th century, gin consumption had declined. A number of factors helped attenuate that. The increased production of higher quality beer at a lower price, heavier taxes placed on gin, and increasing criticism of just drunkenness in general. Also, non-alcoholic beverages with boiled water, such as coffee and tea, were becoming more popular, and that kind of broke alcohol's monopoly on safe liquids. So, what do you think? Do we still have a different view of beer compared with gin or other distilled beverages? What factors do you think influence our perception of alcohol?